forces of the world unite. It's time to roar, to fight the fight against the puppet masters pulling strings. We'll strip away their power, hear our piercing screams. We won't be silenced anymore. Break free from the chains that they adore. Stand tall, unrigging the game we rise. We'll win reality from their lies. Unrig the game, unleash the fury. No longer slaves to their corrupt machinery. Say his name and he appears.
This is a friendship that'll never ever end.
Greetings and welcome to Unrig the Game. How's everybody doing out there? So good to see you guys, man. I missed you. We are back and ready to rock and roll. Yeah, let me remember to start the banner because I always start off by thanking all those awesome people out there in the winner circle who make it happen on a monthly basis. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel and being part of the solution. Big thanks to Shelly Wolfram and Ronnie Jams for supporting us over on Rumble on a monthly basis as well. We are broadcasting live tonight on Rumble, YouTube, and X. And away we go. This is the kickoff show to Unrig the Game. This is the kickoff show portion of the broadcast here. And what we do here is we hang out for about an hour or so and chat and talk about things that pertain to the book and the author. And right now it's mostly national security issues and global politics. And then, Pete and the Department of Defense are up to. And so we have stuff like that. We have that before and after the show. But on the kickoff show, we gather here and give people a chance to come find us on YouTube side, because at the hour mark, we end the kickoff show. We go to the reading portion of our show. So if you have come here for that and you happen to have clicked in after we stream, thank you so much. And let me just say, go to the description below and you will find the link over to Rumble and to the playlist, either directly to the stream or the playlist. And this will get you to the rest of the show. So make sure that you do that so that you can catch up on the reading or follow along with us tonight. Yeah, that's how we do it. That is how we do it. Right now, I'm getting my links together for that particular reason. So make sure that they're both in there for this show. There we go. Rumble's already in there, but now I'm adding X for those who like to use that platform. And then I grab it and I go back to the place where I should have already had a window open for the stream. And now I open it. And I put it in there. That woman asked for a survey right now. I don't think so. Not right now. It's showtime. And there we go. Pinned up and ready to go. And there we go. And we'll see what we can do about getting this done. Right there, start a small little kickoff show goal, maybe. Here we go. Good to see everybody, guys. Thanks so much for being here. Let me say hello to this awesome crowd out here, my VIPs in the front row. There is MJ. Hey, MJ, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. Wolfram, my friend, how are you doing? Thank you for dropping these links. Remember, guys, when you're here, it's important that you always listen to the wolf because he knows what he's talking about. All right, he wipes his paws, he lopes in, and he howls. And that's how you know our alpha mod is in the house. Welcome, Wolfram. Good to see you. Let's see, we got Shelly talking trash and truth, our hostess with the mostest over on the Rumble side right there. And she's over on the X side, and here she is on the YouTube side. Everybody out there, say happy birthday to Shelly, our hostess with the mostest. It is her birthday. She is 29 and just loving it, right? There you go. And make sure that you guys go and subscribe to her channel, and that'd be a great birthday present for her if you're not already over on Rumble and YouTube. Make sure you're there tomorrow for her stream. I guess that would be her birthday stream tomorrow, where she will be talking about whatever she talks about. mainly what you guys are talking about and more. And there will be cake, so make sure that you're there. Okay. All right. And that is our VIP list tonight. Good to see everybody, and so happy that you're here. Well, hey guys, week off, man. Took a week off. Hope I didn't lose anybody, but if I did, oh well. That's just the way it is. And but I did need a break, man. I've been burning the candle at both ends for a while. I had other things I needed to kind of work out here on this end, and the break was needed, and it gave me time to reflect on a lot of things. So I appreciate everybody's patience and everybody that was is back for more. And we are ready. I'm refreshed and ready to go and kick ass and take names as we do it. And just got my head back around my expectations for things, and it's back to base level. So we're all good. We're all good on all that stuff. I'm gonna keep on keeping on, and those are here for the ride are supposed to be here, and those that aren't, and that's cool. That's cool. I'm not gonna play anybody else's game on this. This is all about the information and the community, and making it awesome for everybody. And you guys are a big part of that. And I will be here to make sure that we have an enjoyable time. So there we go. Off and away we go with Unrig the Game. We got a full week ahead of ourselves as well, with several episodes of Winning Tonight coming up this week, as well as Unveiling Reality. And if I got the right weekend, then we also have Winning Saturday Night too. So there we go. But before we get started, we have to do the awesome thing, the awesome things that happen. When awesome things happen, we do awesome things back. Thank you for the super chat. Talking Trash and Truths, $5 super chat. A small thank you for taking off last week. Take care of me. You're the most awesome avatar around. Oh, thanks. I'm still an avatar. I'm still an avatar. But yeah, most of the time I am. Most of the time I am. Except for when it's showtime. Hey, and there's Heidi. Heidi, how you doing? Good to see you. Welcome to the show. Heidi's holding it down on the Rumble side for us. Thank you so much. Thank you, and welcome to. All right, guys, we are off and rolling tonight. This book's been awesome, hasn't it? Have you guys been enjoying this book? I've been enjoying it. I think it's great. The time will come shortly when we'll have to start thinking about our next book. And I got some ideas out there, but I'm always willing to listen to ideas as well. So if anybody has any books they've been interested in that are relative to the way we kind of do it on the show here, talking about how the game's been rigged and how we unrig it, solution oriented, people we know, good takes on things, base takes on things. These are things that have been really doing well for this show, and where we want to kind of take the direction of the idea of unrigging the game. And that is, we have to understand how it was rigged, and by whom and how, and by what mechanisms and how long, and all that to what ends, so that we can actually go about the process of coming up with real root cause solutions that could, over time, take care of these things, or maybe even quicker. So much is happening right now, and as we pointed out, education is a big part of that. And with the Department of Education being shut down and education being returned to states, and the onset of technology, there's no better time to get involved with helping reshape our education in this country, no matter where you're at. Just remember the core things we need to do is we need to install a love of logic back into ourselves generationally, and a love of the pursuit of truth. And with the pursuit of logic comes the pursuit of truth. And we have gotten off track, and by design, over many generations, to the point where people are really hard to communicate with, and they're very easily subjected to mind control techniques used by narrative information-based methodologies, right? Keeping them boxed into a narrative, and and running things like slander campaigns. This the lack of logic and the triggering of negative emotion. So in order for us to really solve that problem on the long term, we're gonna have to dig deep and set the parameters for the next generations to actually weed that off of us and make it ineffective. And in so many ways, it'll benefit us. But you know what? If you have ideas, get out there and do them. Right now, it's the time to get active. Start thinking about how you can shape those ideas into real deliverables. You know, whether it be a curriculum type idea or an app of some kind. There's so many different opportunities out there. And if you are one of the people that are passionate about that or have a skill in that area, consider it. It's just one way that you can do a little something on yourself, taking action into your own hands, taking the solution into your own hands and getting it done. The books that we read here on the show help us understand better how to do that. Like right now, we're reading about the War on Warriors and how DEI has creeped in and impacted our military and our abilities to defend ourselves and are getting our respect around the world. We're getting that back now with thanks to people like Pete Hegseth and President Trump and others. But sorry, my nose keeps turning. All right. Some reason when I start and it gets going. All right. So and others. So we're doing such a good job. And we're in the early stages of sifting through all the mayhem that has been left behind, all the destruction has been left behind. And I have some interesting things I want to go over about planned destruction, like planned. And I got some of this coming up on upcoming episodes that I think is very interesting, looking at it from a worldly perspective. There's other countries that are being slowly demolished over time, like ours is as well. We all seem to have something in common, evidently. But at the same time, that this plan destruction is the slow like destruction of our countries and our freedoms and our liberties and our quality of life and our mental and physical health. These aren't all just coincidences or happen by mistake. These are the real conspiracies that are out there. So if you want to focus on things like that and get to the bottom of things, we do the real work here. So and I think you will enjoy the topics that I have coming up on those particular things. But hey guys, what's out there? That's just a little intro to the show tonight. I got some stuff coming up. We'll check it on a couple of videos here in a second, but I also want to look at like the Houthi stuff that's going on and give you a little background on what's going on over there. I got a hodgepodge of things. So that's kind of the way it's going to be. Here on out, I'm going to try to reduce a little bit of the stress of putting shows together just by bringing the best I can with what I got, and that'll be what works for us, man. That's what makes me feel good about what we're doing here. It's my way of doing it, and I like it, and I think that people could dig it. And if they do dig it, they'll come back and they'll hang out. That's the way it is. All right, so let me see here. Thanks again for the super chat, Shelly. Let's see. I'm just reading you guys down here in the chat. A lot of good talk going back and forth. That's awesome. So happy you guys are here joining us. Oh, no worries about the tech issues, man. We all get them. And heck, you're just in time. You're all right. You're all right, man. Let me see. Let's cue this up for a quick little. Get this on winning speed here. Quick little catch up with Pete himself. Now this is from 5 days ago, but it's relative. So he answered some good questions. And let me see. I got this other. I've noticed that a lot of people in the space are starting to use this kind of look right here. And they're starting. Let me see how this worked out. I kind of redid it on my end. I know they're using different software than me. What the heck are you doing here? Is this it? Okay, yeah. Let's see how this comes out. It's kind of the same as what I was doing before.
As the Secretary of Defense, is a good day. And what we got to see here, starting with PT with Navy SEALs in the morning, which has turned into Smoke the SecDef more than it has PT. The opportunity to see what the Marines are doing here, incredible stuff, training space, jungle school for the Army, with the Air Force capabilities, Space Force capabilities, naval lift. It's all here, and it's all a reflection of America's commitment to the Indo-Pacific and the Trump administration's focus on ensuring that we are doing everything we can to deter conflict with the Communist Chinese, who we don't see conflict with at all. But we will stand strong in deterrence and will posture troops forward That's why we're going out to Guam to see our friends in Japan and the Philippines. We're posturing forward, talking and meeting with commanders who have the capabilities that understand the AOR, talking to friends and allies. And in that, it doesn't get any better than watching troops in action, which is a humbling and an honor for me. So it's been a great day here, and we look forward to many more ahead on this trip as we institute, sort of live out, try to showcase the pivot that President Trump is putting toward the Indo-Pacific.
I'd like to go to Hawaii.
We're properly focusing and prioritizing where we should on peer adversaries to stand strong and reflect deterrence, reestablishing deterrence.
Suzanne, what's up?
Is part of what President Trump has compelled me to do, in addition to restoring the warrior ethos and rebuilding our military. And reestablishing deterrence is a big part of why we're here. Happy to take a couple of questions.
Yeah, Mr. Secretary, thanks. First of all, thanks so much for having me on the trip. That helicopter ride was awesome. I'm sure my colleagues feel the same way. My question's on Taiwan. You mentioned deterrence. Admiral Paparo in his speeches has said that the exercises around Taiwan are not just exercises, but rehearsals for an attack. How concerned are you about China's ability and intent to try and retake the island by force?
Well, Admiral Paparo has said China's rehearsals could potentially always be a rehearsal for an attack. The rehearsals, the exercises, the campaigns we're doing in and around the first island chain are not meant to be the precursor to an attack. We're here to deter. We're here to show strength with our allies. And that includes ensuring that in every possible way American force is projected forward. So we don't want to see a conflict at all. And that's certainly the president's perspective.
Exactly.
But we're going to be postured forward and leaning forward as much as necessary to ensure
Was this during the Biden administration?
Quick follow-up on the counter diversity, equity, inclusions. What's your assessment now, 3 months in, and trying to undo a lot of those programs?
This ought to be good.
My assessment is the DoD will be merit-based and colorblind. You will be judged based on how good you are at your job. Full stop. Yeah. That's it. And so getting rid of diversity, equity, inclusion, DEI, getting rid of different standards was fundamental to getting back to basics. And that's what when I get a chance to talk to commanders here, that's what I emphasize. We're getting back to basics. Standards at every level need to be adhered to. And that's at a baseline. And when you talk to soldiers, you talk to Marines, they get it. They get it. They've seen the standards slide under the previous administration. They watched, in many different ways how it eroded, or quotas were being met, or different aspects boxes had to be checked. Not anymore. The only box that gets checked in this Defense Department is lethality and your ability to do your job.
Mr. Secretary, the messages the White House called authentic did at the very least include sensitive details about targets and timing. Did you declassify that information before you put it in the chat? And are you using Signal to discuss operations as sensitive as the strikes against the Houthis on a government or a personal phone? First,
all I would say is the strikes against the Houthis that night were devastatingly effective. And I'm incredibly proud of the courage and skill of the troops. And they are ongoing and continue to be devastatingly effective. The last place I would want to be right now is a Houthi in Yemen who wants to disrupt freedom of navigation. So the skill and courage of our troops is on full display. It's a complete opposite approach from the fecklessness of the Biden administration. President Trump said peace through strength will be brought back. Freedom of navigation will return. And that's exactly what we're doing. As I also stated yesterday, nobody's texting war plans. And that's all I have to say about it.
So those same troops that you are proud of, do you regret putting information like the ones you did in the Signal chat that could endanger those same American service members?
Nobody's texting. Oh my God! I know exactly what I'm doing, exactly what we're directing, and I'm really proud of what we accomplished. The successful missions that night and going forward.
So you had a conversation with seniors.
Oh my God!
In the beacon. So how do you
that fake news bullshit question? Manipulative questioning, assumptive questioning. It's got to go.
You had a conversation with senior officials of Indo-PACOM today and yesterday. And how do you evaluate the importance of Indo-PACOM?
Indo-PACOM is really important. And Admiral Paparo is a fighting admiral. He's a really smart guy who's exactly where we need him at the tip of the spear. Indo-PACOM is where we need to be, where we need to be focusing. What you will see in the interim national defense strategy from DoD will focus, make sure we're defending the homeland, including the homeland Oconus here in Hawaii, and that we're postured to focus on the Indo-Pacific. So it's critically important. One more. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Earlier today at the POW accounting agency, you were taking a tour of the building and you were shown a wall of Medal of Honor recipients whose remains have been recovered over the years. I'm sure it was a very humbling experience. By sheer chance, one of those recipients that was pointed out to you was a Lieutenant Alexander Bonnyman Jr., a Marine who passed away some time ago, fought in World War II, I believe. You said, wait a minute, I know who that is. And it turns out that by just pure happenstance, you obviously went to Princeton, and he also went to Princeton, and you remember studying him back when you were a student there.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what that was like, and what a cool story.
It's a cool story. So we were at the Defense Prisoner of War Missing in Action Agency, where they still commit to the legacy of those that we've lost on the battlefield, bringing them home, identifying the remains, and making sure the families have that closure. We leave nobody behind. I was looking at the wall, and in this one particular unit, there was a lieutenant who was a recipient of the Medal of Honor. And I looked up, and it said Lieutenant Bonnyman, and I just thought, where have I heard that name before? And then I realized at Princeton, there were stars outside some of the windows of the older buildings, and one of those was a window of a dorm I was in, maybe sophomore or junior year. And on that star was Lieutenant Bonnyman.
Wow.
I didn't know who he was. I remember researching, though, his name and that star, because I thought if his name's outside my window, I was probably an ROTC cadet at that point. I want to know who he is. And so they told me a little bit of the story there, and it rang a bell with me. I know I wrote something about him too when I'll have to find that and maybe release it. But it was pretty cool to see the connection between someone who I'd heard of as a Medal of Honor recipient, and then the commitment of our country to then go find him in a foreign land and bring him back, so that the whole cycle is sort of complete, and he gets the honor that he deserves. So pretty cool.
That's awesome.
It was emblematic of this day today, like watching the troops in real time, and then watching the legacy of their service as well played out all here in Hawaii. So it's been great.
All right,
Thank you all.
Thanks,
Appreciate
everybody.
it. Thank you.
There we go. Catching up with Pete. That's what we do. There we go. We caught up with Pete. Let me see. Did I put it in this playlist? Let me check it out. I don't think I put it in this playlist, but I might do it anyways. I really want a lot of people to see it though. And what I'm going to do at the end of the show, Suzanne, you would be interested in this thing if you're still here. Hold on, let me see. Pull my playlist up and get the name of it right. What I'm going to do, I came across this really great video. I mean, just really well done, well thought out. And it is called Three Nations, Same Collapse. The truth is worse than you think. Catchy subject line. Doesn't do the video content and the quality of it, I think, justice, because it has got that hooky line in it. But I guess it got it 404,000 views, so it can't be too bad, right? But I think that to really get into it, it talks about Canada, Australia, and the UK, and how they've all been on this slide, and that it's like a planned slide. It compares it to like the end of the Roman Empire kind of thing, right? And it talks about the kind of things that were going on at that time, and how over the 1,000 years it slowly was eroded away, and how that's what these things are happening in these what quote unquote Western countries they call them. I guess it seems to like the skin color seems to be very seems to be an ongoing theme here with the countries that are in this kind of peril, and I don't know why, but anyways, it talks about what they're doing and how their countries are already kind of like in this decline, and how they're basically going about masking it, right? They're going about masking it, and they're not really trying to stop it. And I think this video does a great comparison between those countries and our own, and really starts to highlight what Trump and Make America Great Again really stands for when you compare them to these other nations that were in the same kind of like predicament as us, maybe a little bit of their own flavor mixed in, but are also being slowly steered towards decline, right? And that's what the Make America Great Again, the Trump administration and the people that are behind them are trying to do, despite all the bullshit propaganda out there by their enemies that are only out there to make sure that we do decline. Because in our own decline and in our own destruction, they are profiting more than their families are becoming wealthy, generationally wealthy. They're profiting, and they're put on a pedestal and kept away from the mayhem and the predicament of being in a declining country, a declining system. And so I think I'm going to play that after the reading tonight. The reading tonight is only about 45 minutes. So we're just doing chapter 10. And I want to go ahead and include this. So if you're here and that makes, that's interesting to you, but you don't really do the reading with this, but you want to be part of it, I encourage you to make sure that you follow the link over to Rumble, and about 45 to 15 minutes after we get over there, you can check back if it's for some reason you don't want to be part of the reading. And the reading, though, I think is going to be worth it tonight. Tonight, the chapter is more lethality and less lawyers. I bet you that's something everybody here can relate to. However, if reading audiobooks isn't your thing, I understand that, but I do appreciate you being here. And what you can do is just check back in, because you want to check out this video I'm gonna review at the end of the show during a bonus content time over on Rumble and X. And I went, hey, is that Wild? Hey, Wild, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you. And there's Shinny. How you doing, Shinny? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. I love it when people come in together. Do you guys drive in the same car? Carpooling is good. You guys can carpool together. Also want to be, I want to follow that up with a little bit about I'll follow that up with a little bit about Marie Le Pen being banned from presidential elections in France, right? And this, I think it's a report by Tim Pool, and I think he does a good job of, like, without even realizing it, as an addendum to that video, because he talks about the EU and he talks about other parts of, that are experiencing political warfare like we've experienced here. So it's a way to look outside of our own country, right, and see what's going on around the world, because it does matter. And we've always said this is a global effort. It's not just that we're experiencing what it means here, right? But worldwide, other people are in the same predicaments we are, just with their own type of national flavor involved, and their own methodology. Their own methodologies are customized per nation, right? So Marie Le Pen is being treated like Trump was, right? And she may not have the power and the freedoms like we have here to get out of this. Like, literally facing jail time now, and is been fined and has had trumped up charges. I hate using that term now, but put against her. And then what they've done, because she was set to win, is they made it so she can't run. Doesn't that sound familiar? Yeah. And I'm in Canada right now with Pierre. They are running they're running massive, he's like Trump, and then slander campaigns against Trump. Trump wants to take our country over. No, all that shit, right? So they're running that massive propaganda campaign up there as well. Again, and coming from another country that's on this planned demolition, this planned destruction, right? And that they're trying to then again politically maneuver so that they cannot, so that they're more nationalistic, make Canada great again candidate can't possibly win. And that's a shame. And I hope that the movements in Canada, Pierre, yeah, there you go, Pierre. I hope that the Canadians get active. They reach out and ask for help from us MAGA people that have done it before. They've been there, and we can help navigate, give them resources. We need to help them win. We need to help people like Marie Le Pen win. We need to start, dismantling these operations country to country. And believe me, I said this way back when I started the channel. When I way back, I said this isn't just one thing, right? I would talk to people in other countries and be like, so eventually we're gonna have to reach across our borders and into other countries with people like us, right? The anti-establishments that are there, and help them along the way. We should get our job done first here, and we're doing great right now. We have a lot of work to do, but we managed to get the biggest thing out of the way up front, and now we have a solid core going. But once we get back on track, if we don't help the rest of the world get back on track, they'll all turn against us. And that's the truth. And then innocent people and people that are like us their government will force them into this position, right? We don't want that. We want everybody free. And this, like I said, this whole thing that's going on, people want a conspiracy. Here it is. This whole globalist conspiracy to destroy sovereign nations and collapse us into a more centralized world, global government, if you will. While it may not have a name, it may not have a place, it will dictate past our constitution to us how we can live, what we can do. and so on, and put us on an even keel with the rest of the world in terms of that, so we can't have things here because it's not good for people over there. That makes no sense. But it is chaos, and chaos helps them rule, right? It is abusive, and the cycle of abuse powers a cycle of control. So as long as we know these key aspects of how things work in reality, really right now, we can understand how to dismantle them and turn things back to the way they should be. However, we have to understand what is in front of us in order to do that. The game is very rigged. And so we have a lot of work to do to unrig this game. And it's not just people here in America, it's people all over the world facing the same dilemma. Now, some people in other countries are overcoming it in different ways. Argentina, for example, Malay, and what he's doing, right? They've managed to get their foot in the door as well. Now we need to help to make sure that they are successful. Some countries don't have a choice, and they're in a very bad position. There ain't no way you can help the people in China right now. Ain't no way you can help the people in Iran right now, or other places like that, right? It's going to take some time. If we build up a strong enough coalition of like-minded, free-minded people around the world, we'll slowly begin to outnumber the tyrannies that are out there. And that's the way that we do it. That's the way that we walk it in and get it done. Snipe, how you doing? I see you out there saying hello to Heidi. How you doing? Let me turn my attention back to you guys. But I just want to really wanted to tell you about what I wanted to do after the reading tonight, because I want you guys to be there. It's going to be a good report. I think we're going to have some good conversation around it. And while I know that a lot of you don't always make it to the reading, yeah, I'm happy that you come to the kickoff show. Thank you for being here. But I wanted to tell you that this really great report and I want to share with you guys, talk about with you guys, and do a compare and contrast with, I really would like you there. So right now we are 30 minutes into our kickoff show. So about 9:40, about 10 o'clock or so, probably 9:45. You want to check back in on the Rumble side. Make sure the link's in the description and it's pinned in the chat. Make sure you lock it in for the people who don't want to be part of the reading, the listening party. Make sure you come back for that part. You're going to really dig it. And it's going to be very informative. And I think if you like this kind of stuff we do here, you'll love that bonus content segment we have going on tonight. All right. And I see Libby. I'm so happy that you guys are listening while running errands, Libby. Say hello to your lovely wife for us. And happy to have you on a line. Glad that we're in your ears as you do errands. Drive safely and be careful wherever you're at. And all that cool. And you got my DM, right? Hopefully you got my DM okay. I won't go into that. We did have some mayhem this week. I guess I can go into a little bit. Yeah, so just in case you guys didn't know, but you saw, right? Somebody from some account in the Wi-Fi's Discord, the Wi-Fi's Discord server, and I'm not in that server. But Shelley was, and somebody went through and got a hold of some people's accounts and started blasting out phishing messages through their name. And I don't know how they did all that, but that's where it came from. So she left that Discord. We cleaned everything up as best we could, and all the other and she left a lot of other Discords as well that she wasn't active in. If anybody wants her back and don't notice her there, message her directly. But for the most part, she kept the ones that she didn't want to be, if it was going to keep going on, keep having messages show up in people's Discord. So that's what happened. We took care of it very quickly as soon as we noticed it. And it is now behind us, but it originated from the Wi-Fi's Discord. So if you guys are in that Discord, beware. Hopefully the Wi-Fi's guy took care of it. I don't know. She must have joined that one on a long time ago, because at this point, yeah, we'll leave it at that. Anyways, so there's one more thing I wanted to play for you guys here, and then we'll just keep talking. You think it's everything's a CIA inside job. Don't you know that? Don't you know that? What you got? How what? I got my Discord back tomorrow. It was a waste of time for Discord. Who reported you for what? What happened? You got reported? Didn't you just post something in mine? What happened? What happened, man? March 30th. Yeah, yesterday. Yeah, this is you, right? Yeah, with the American flag. Huh? You got a 1-day suspension or something? Let's see. The original came from an account called Copycat. So beware of anybody named Copycat. I don't think you were friends with them. You were just in the same server, right? And they maybe had some loose guardrails on in that server. You got limited, huh? I never heard of that. Interesting. Interesting. This is also interesting. Trying to find places to fit things in that. All right. But if I'm right, this guy was a libertarian candidate for president at one time. John Anderson. You guys remember him? I think before the party was calling one off the kind of off the deep end, or the got this woke kind of like element to it. John Anderson ran. Maybe he ran as an independent. I don't know. He might have been an independent, but I believe this is the guy who ran for president at one time. But I wanted to show you something very interesting I found. I just recently found his channel. It's 5 minutes. It's like just real quick. But let's see. Oh, he's the former Deputy Prime Minister of Australia. Okay, not the same guy. But a very popular name nonetheless. So this comes out of Australia. Do I got any Australians in the house? Got AM33, are you here? Madcore Mopo, are you here? And this is a very, so, you know, we're going to be kind of taking a more worldly more worldwide view of things tonight on the show. That's kind of be our theme tonight. How about that? I love it when a theme just comes together. But anyways, this is coming from a lady named Melanie Phillips. Is a British public commentator with a distinguished career in journalism. She began her professional, like, you know what? I should just do this as I'm reading it, right? Let me get rid of this. Hello. That's not the one. That's not what I wanted. Just click that. All right. And this is called Disturbing Logic of the Left. So I figured you guys might like it. So anyways, let me give it a like. All right. She's a professional journal writing she began a professional journey writing for The Guardian and The New Statesman, and currently contributes to The Times, The Jerusalem Post, and The Jewish Chronicles, focusing on political and social issues. So she had some very interesting things to say. I like the way she put this together. It's quick 5 minutes. So let me make sure it's on winning speed. And I thought you guys would enjoy this, but it's about how leftism always leads to violence and always leads to terrorism. And we see that to be true, but how many people don't even realize that they're enabling it? People that probably, like I said, probably would be very against it if they knew that their energy and their attitudes and their alliances were enabling it to the degree that it is, right? And that's where the mind control helps, because it keeps them boxed in. But she makes a great point about how this keeps them in the box. So check this out.
The Western liberal mind conceives of itself as being good because it's liberal. The Western liberal tells him or herself, I'm a good person because I'm liberal. I'm liberal because I'm a good person, which means that I believe in things like the brotherhood of man, conscience and compassion, looking after the wretched of the world, the poor and the wretched of the world, standing up against abuses of power. These are all good things, and that's why I'm a liberal. And I'm a liberal because of all these good things. So one of the expressions of my goodness and my liberalism is that I support the Palestinian Arabs, who I think are an oppressed people, and they are oppressed by the Israelis, who have taken their land away from them, and they are oppressing them. Now, every part of that, in my view, is a lie. But put that to one side. This is what the liberal progressive thinks. And the liberal progressive thinks that supporting the Palestinians is therefore something that makes the liberal progressive a good person. October 7 happened. And suddenly you have a situation in which the people that the liberal progressive has supported as being oppressed, and everything they do is a legitimate defense or resistance against oppression. Suddenly we can see that those people have turned into the most bloodthirsty savages that could ever be imagined. Not just people who kill, but who slaughter in a sadistic, barbaric, debauched and depraved fashion that people can't imagine ever happening. They have slaughtered raped, beheaded, tortured, burned alive, babies, children, women, elderly men, and others, and in which the people that they have supported as being oppressed are good people because they're victims, are these savages. And the people they have represented as oppressors are the victims. They can't have that. Because if they have that, if they admit that that is the case, then their entire worldview is shattered, because the people, you know, the cause they have supported as representing goodness is shown to be evil. And what does that make them? It makes them evil. So they can't have it. So what do? They go to
compare that real quick, right? To your average behind the first veil establishment narrative mind control victim, right? How they react to things. This is the whole thing, the belief system. When cognitive dissonance hits them, right? What they begin to do, what begins to happen within them, right? They form this belief system where they believe that the causes that they are behind it somehow dictates how good or bad of a person they are, right? Not even if they don't even understand it, just has to look good on the surface, right? And so anything that combats that sends them into a tizzy, because the outcome of it would be they may be perceived as being evil or bad, something that they don't want to be perceived as. The issue here is they never look back and at the source, and unlike people like us here, right? They haven't gotten to the point, or they will never get to the point where they look back at the source and blame the source for misleading them. That's where you have to be humble about it and say, oh, they got me. Now, a lot of people could be really humble when it comes to having been gotten on a product, right? Gotten on a sale or something. The guy sold me on something, it wasn't what I thought, you know, or so on, right? They can be very humble when it comes to getting scammed out of money, or being, you know, marketed or sold a thing that maybe they didn't need or didn't live up to the hype, right? They can be really kind of like, you know, or, you know, the movie looked good, but it wasn't really as good as I thought it was going to be, right? They can really get by on being misled on that kind of level. But when it comes to like how their social credit or how other people that they seek validation from may judge them, right? They get a little bit more furious. It's more of a deep-seated belief system, right? And they become a lot more vicious, and they basically change their personality to accommodate. You can see someone go from very cooperative, very, very, you know, easy to get along with person, right? To complete maniac, just on the right topic, right? On the right trigger or whatever. And where does that mind control come from? It comes from the narrative that they've been boxed into, right? So what she's saying here is that the whole idea of leftism, where people say, well, I'm a Democrat, or screw those other people, right? A lot of it hinges on the belief that, well, if they were to come clean and realize that they've been behind the wrong horse the entire time, or they had been fooled, not to their own problem, right? Like not something they would have consciously done had they known all the details, had they not been lied to by their establishment news outlets, right? And the people who reinforce the bias on social media that they're friends with, and so on and so forth. Had they not, right, they would likely have never wanted to be a part of it. But you know, now they believe that they may be seen as, you know, like that's the risk we all took when we came out and said, hey, this is what we stand for, that those people now see us as something that we're not, right? But we were strong enough and humble enough to step forward and do it anyways, because it was the right thing to do, not only just for ourselves, but for everybody else, right? To live in the truth, right? To live closer to the truth, you know, even, you know, just to be honest with ourselves, and to have the courage and have the self-respect and the confidence to say, you know what, I'm humble. They got me on this one, but you know what? Now I'm going to make sure everybody knows it. So that's how, you know, the best revenge is living well and moving on and not being trapped into some abusive system. Unfortunately, for some people, they don't see that, right? They only see the fact that some people may view them this way, or all might have that relationship anymore with that person who was benefiting me in some way, giving me this, giving me that, making me look like this, making me look like that. Like you don't realize, and that might be a younger trait, but realizing that, you know, you don't have to operate in the world that way. right? And in fact, if you are operating in the world that way, you might be doing it wrong, right? Because it's eventually going to collapse on you. So I like the way she's framed this, and I like the way that this is kind of reinforcing that whole understanding of why people cling to something that obviously is making them out to be a hypocrite, and they don't see the walls, right? They don't understand why they still want to cling to it. It's on a more subconscious psychological level that they still tend to enable the worst things that are out there that even work against their own best interests. Here we go. Let's finish this.
To extraordinary lengths to pretend that black is white, that justice is injustice, that oppression is resistance, and vice versa. So they have to represent the Israelis as being at fault. The Israelis are to blame for what's happened. So there is no better way of blaming people than accusing them of the very thing they are the victim of.
Projection.
So you accuse them of genocide. We hear it also regularly. The Israelis are accused of being Nazis. It's the same thing. It's not simply an offensive thing. It's a very deliberate thing, because if the Israelis are Nazis, then we are free. We, the liberal West, are free of any kind of guilt or any kind of association with bad things, because they are to blame. They are the people who are bad. And so we are free to continue.
Does it make any sense that the Israelis would be Nazis? The whole terminology, when they use this Nazism as a these are people who don't even understand what Nazism is. Nazism is based on Marxism. They call someone like Trump and Elon a Nazi. But Hitler was a Marxist. So let's get that right first. These guys were completely against or opposite of, right? That. So, and then they call the Israelis that. Does that make any sense? It's just like, it's nonsense at that point. But this is what she's talking about, is how far people will go, right? How far people will go when they're convinced of this, to not appear like they are part of evil, even if it was by mistake, even if it was manufactured consent, even if it was because they were lied to and deceived, right? Then come out the other side. They can't do that though. And they would realize really fast that what they've done to other people when they try to come out and do the same thing. Let's see. Okay. My voice calms you and lulls you to sleep. Well, good. Rest easy. Okay. Well, hopefully you catch the end of it, because you're really going to want to hear about the Canadian, UK, Australia dilemma that's going on and how they all parallel each other. If not, maybe you can just remember to go back and watch it later, because I think of certain people when I see certain things, and you and a few other people came to mind when I saw that. But anyways, let's get back to this, and thank you for that, Suzanne. Let's get back to this. And there's something that she keeps saying that I keep wanting to interrupt and put in there, but let's let it finish. It'll probably come back to me here in a second.
With our fantasies of us being good people. And I think and so we are kind of association with bad things, because they are to blame. They are the people who are bad. And so we are free to continue with our fantasies of us being good people. And
let me say it before I forget. What she's talking about too is the oppressor narrative, right? Which we all know is cultural Marxism. I don't know if she ever comes out and straight out calls it cultural Marxism, but it is. That's what we talk about all the time here, the oppressor narrative, right? And that's what they sell people on. So this is at the root of what she's talking about.
I think that's also what lay behind these amazing scenes that we saw on social media of people with their hands tearing down
the posters
of the hostages. Now you have to ask yourself, what's going through the mind of someone like that? These weren't posters advertising Israel. They weren't advertising the Israeli Defense Forces. They were pictures of babies, of children, of women who had been kidnapped by bloodthirsty monsters, by depraved savages, and were being almost certainly subjected to untold horrors. And yet they were torn down, and the faces of the people tearing them down were contorted very often with rage and hate. And you have to ask yourself, what's going on in the mind of that person? And it seemed to me that they had to literally with their fingernails tear it out of sight. It was something that could not be tolerated to be in existence at all. The very concept of the Israeli babies and children as victims of the people they had been supporting, because it contradicted the narrative on which they had hung their own moral worth. And it seemed to me also they were tearing the Jews out, trying to tear the Jewish people completely out of their world, out of their sight, out of their world, out of their minds, out of their thoughts, and out of their consciences. That's to me what it represented. And this whole inversion of genocide thing is part of that. It is not just disgusting. It is not just ridiculous. It's evil. And I think it is a symptom of the evil paths into which the West has fallen through its embrace of a whole range of ideologies, a whole range of thinking, which I think has come to define what we call the liberal progressive West.
Marxism. Yeah, so there you go. I thought that was really interesting. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And I like the way that I'll probably have some more stuff from her. I think that there's some different clips and stuff. So I'll try to find some more if they fit and bring them to you. However, I did think that was very much goes along with what we're talking about in terms of why people have, or so what we mean by when we say people are suffering from mind control, right? So many times I'm trying to break the archetype of that word, right? So many times, even myself, mind control, you think of somebody helplessly zombified. That's not what it is. You can operate, most 99% of all mind control teams do operate very normally, day to day, without even, in most capacities. It's just when it comes to certain things, they all of a sudden are controlled by the narrative in their mind. And I think that makes sense. I don't think it takes a lot to figure that out once you hear it, to work it out in your own mind, how that works with somebody. And then you can start to, pull examples up from yourself or other people, things you've experienced, other people you've noticed, other conversations you've had with people, where it becomes like more and more proven as you go, right? Because you saw, okay, I can see that, I can see that. That's what's controlling these people, is this narrative. If they were not in that narrative, would they act the same way? These are simple ways to prove this concept, prove a concept. The simple prepper, how you doing? That's cool, man. We're hoping you're doing good, man. We're hoping you're doing good. Thanks for being here, man. I know you got to do what you got to do out there, and you run the gig. You run the gig, man. So we got you. We got your back. It's all good. All right. Yeah. But it's good to see you. I was thinking about you the other day, actually, wondering how you're doing. I do think about people when we're not here and wonder how they're doing. I wonder how, certain people come to mind, that I wonder how Jacob Peets is doing. I haven't seen him in a while. I know he has things going on. Consider him a good friend of the channel. Same with people like Memento Mori and Crown Target, and they pop in here from time to time. Always wonder how they're doing, hoping they're doing good. And so many others. I tend to not really forget people that have been part of the channel. So I remember all of them in one way or another. If they were here for a significant amount of time, and I'll think about, oh yeah, I haven't seen them in a while. I wonder how they're doing. I hope they're doing good. And if we ever in contact, that's probably when you get a note from me going, hey, how you doing? Just want to say hello. I hope you're doing and living well. That's pretty much it. All right. So yeah, there we have it. Again, I thought that was really interesting. The oppressive narrative being explained from a different point of view. And why is that? Why that's so powerful? Why that one idea of how to control people is so effective, right? How it draws upon their virtues, gets them locked into a narrative, and then they will fight like hell to stay in that narrative. Never have it diminish, because then, oh my goodness, they may be viewed as what they thought they were fighting, right? And they'd rather fight and continue to be wrong than know the truth. But see, we're the opposite of that here. We'd rather know the truth and be right. And if we were wrong, we're probably misled, because we're good people at our hearts. If we're misled, we can overcome that. Humbleness and getting on the good foot is really all it takes. And I don't know why some people are resistant to it. But when they have that moment of clarity, I hope that they find their way to the light. That's all we can do, right? That's all we can do for them. That's all we can do for them. Hang on one second. So, on this. That. Okay, all right. There we are. All right. And I'm back. So it looks like the crowd's doing awesome tonight. the other thing is like with that is like, we talked about the Free Palestine people, and this is like who she was talking about up front. And we've always talked about that that's the driving mechanism. Why would career Marxists be behind Palestinians when they throw gay people off roofs, right? It's not that. It's that, it's like, okay, this is an opportunity for us to use them in their situation to fight capitalism. It's really what it boils down to. That's what what their base and motivations are. Darth Kitty, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope you have a Rumble account. We got about 5 minutes or so left in the kickoff show, and then we'll be going over to Rumble to do our reading. We got a short chapter tonight, just about 45 minutes or so, and then we're gonna have a great after reading bonus content section where we're gonna go through the 3 nations that same collapse, the truth of, about UK, Canada, and Australia, and it's really going to be an interesting discussion, and it does have to deal with national security, of course, because we need to preserve our allies, and we need to help other good base people around the world escape collapse and help them towards reforming. And honestly, reforming isn't that. It seems so difficult sometimes. I know. It seems so overwhelming. That's why I try to get people to look at it generationally, right? We know there's a lot of broken people that ain't never coming out of that first veil in our generations, right? Too far, too late, too many, too long. But we have enough of us now that are awake, aware, and resisting, where we can carry the load for other generations to come up behind them, let them age out, and then we can have a more based society. And hopefully that we're getting a lot of that work done. I think we still have a lot more to go in that department, honestly. But we'll see how the next 4 years play out and the kind of things that we can be possibly help with, right? But don't give up, right? Don't give up. Let the ones that need to go, and find the ones that find the new ones, find the people that everybody here's a new friend of mine within several years. And this is where we go, right? We go find people that are like-minded, and then we work on ways to make a better future together, while those people wallow around in hate and fear and all the things we don't wish for them, but they bring upon themselves. And they may look like they're doing well, and they may look like they got it all going on. The truth of the matter is they're living a lie, and there ain't no escaping that. And in the end, it'll do them in. So we don't want that for them, but some people we just can't help, and that's the way it is. That's what you learn when you're over here on this side of the world, looking at really reality-based life. And that's the kind of stuff we talk about all the time here. To be honest, is Arlene. Arlene, what's up? Did I say hi to you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Being a hard leftist requires a special kind of arrogance. It will not happen to me because I am on the savages side. Right. Well, yeah. And honestly, there's people, a lot of them that are like that. I mean, there's the hardcore, right? They're going to the socialism conferences. They're out there in the streets being useful idiots. They think they're doing something, right? But the narrative, the portrayal in their mind of who they are, their characters in a movie, they're not even in reality. That's what I'm talking about. They've escaped reality. And when they realize how they're acting, like they're acting to an audience at all times. Like, you know anybody like that? Have you ever been in that situation where you feel like someone's trying to sitcom you or something? You feel like someone's playing to an audience that isn't there. It's like, it's just two of us. Just be honest, or whatever. But they're still in portrayal. It's called portrayal, right? They're portraying a character in their mind. They're not even operating with themselves anymore. They're portraying something, and it's a reaction, right? To try to they think that they're that politician on TV or that news that mouthy sassy newscaster or commentator that they saw, that they were like, oh, that's really cool, I wish I could speak like that. And now all of a sudden they're pretending to be that thing, right? It's called portrayal. So a lot of them go into portrayal as it's the defense mechanism, and you can't get through the character, right? Character has to be a certain way. So there you have that. I'm sure you guys have all experienced this, and for those of you who haven't actually ever picked up on that's what's going on, now you will. Now you will. You're going to be like, do you think that there's a studio audience here or something? It's just the two of us, you know. Or you're not playing. Nobody else is watching. You'll pick up on it. You'll pick up on it. I deal with a lot of people. I have had to deal with a lot of people that are like that, right? And that just means that they are relying on some kind of social, some kind of social thing, where they're worried about how this perceived studio audience is watching and may think of them, right? It's a degenerating mental condition. It sucks, and feel sorry for anybody who has it. But and if you happen to find yourself doing it, you might, you'll probably recognize that, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. This is one of those things. Let me get back to, speaking one-to-one, being present, right? Being present is what it is. You can see you know what I'm talking about. You'll be seeing the people that do this. Their eyes kind of drift up, right? And they're kind of like that. It's like that thing, right? They're like, they go into this. It's almost like they're transforming into the character. If you have, let me know in the chat. People are always performing and pushed out of my life, right? That's what you got to do. It's sad. You can know people for a long time and then they can turn on a dime on you. And that just, what does that tell you though? Right? Say you've known somebody for a long time, had a lot of great experiences with them. And then on one day, they just flip the script and they're like, okay, I'm done with you. Right? You're like, what does that tell you about them? What does it tell you about what your perception of that relationship was or anything like that? But what does it really tell you about them? It's really their problem, isn't it? It's really them having a crisis, isn't it? Right? If you're honest and upfront and just being yourself and someone just turns on you after a long time and you're doing that and you're operating honestly, it's their problem, right? They may try to accuse you of a bunch of things that they do. They may try to spin it around you because they're trying to cover for their own actions, their own bad actions, right? But that's just them fight or flight, right? They've come out of denial and now they're into anger because you, through your truth, right, through your honesty, have brought them out of their denial about a certain thing, right? They may have thought that they did something and it wasn't the wrong thing, or that nobody got hurt, and then you may bring up the fact that there were consequences, and here they are. You just didn't realize them, and then that could be like, oh, well, you're just this and you're just that and this and this and that. I don't want to have anything to do with you now, right? You could have been the best friend of them. You could have done great things for them, and they will instantly forget it because of that. What does it tell you about that person? Appreciate the times you have, then they're real easy to let go. Who cares? Think I want that kind of mental illness around me? You just did me a favor. You don't even realize it, and I won't be playing that portrayal game with you anymore. We are now out of the studio audience. Gen X strong, baby. There we go. We're running over a little bit. People do not respond well to shaking their foundational beliefs. The mental gymnastics killed me. Yeah, it's like they don't really want to be saved, do they? They want to live their lie. I lost several family members over the past election. It's their problem, not mine, though. It's true. It is true. And listen to the mind control that they're under right now. Are they bitching about Project 2025 still? Oh, man. I'm just waiting for somebody that I know to show up on a newscast for messing with a Tesla. Someone I used to know. Someone I wouldn't associate with now. I'm sure they are out there. I can't wait. It'll happen. They're that insane about shit. And they're still believing the old lies from the election. I got to check it every now and then. It's not always that fun. Usually it's kind of a little bit demoralizing. But I do like to every now and then check in just to watch them going crazy, see what they're going crazy about the day. And it's the same old doom posting. It's the same old doom posting from these people. They're always dooming the same shit. Like, it's like, this is your day. You wake up and you just get all upset because Trump's the president and your narrative, tells you have to be angry and go out and hate, but you think that you're the loving one and you think that you're fighting hate, but you're really the hate. It's just like, it's like a mental asylum. It really is. It's like, oh my God, dude, Mental asylum. Yep, you know, be yourself. They react so violently too. It's like you aren't supposed to. They're not supposedly the compassionate party. Where's that compassion when you're attacking them? Exactly. Well, see, that's the hypocrisy. That's the hypocrisy. They block that out. It's back into portrayal. Yeah, TDS, and EDS. Yeah, they got EDS now. They're using the same things, right? Like I said, the keying and the firebombing of Tesla started after they compared them to Nazism, and the whole thing is like, you know, at least think about the people who think the Jews are behind everything and that they're the problem, right? Isn't that what Hitler thought? I mean, you may want to watch that one. It's always just bad people. It doesn't matter what sect or whatever they come from. If they're bad people with bad intentions, they're elitist mindset people, then that's what they are. Just don't, you know, you have to box people in with Marxist terminology or some kind of like framing that gets you out of being part of it. It's like, you're not part of it anyways if you're a good person, so don't worry about it. It doesn't matter what color they are, what religion they are, what sexual orientation they are. If they're bad people, they're bad people. And people like us know that, but other people need labels and groupings and other shit like that that shouldn't be applied in these situations. See, oh, look, happy birthdays from Simple Prepper to T3. That's awesome. Thank you. My T3, one of my daughters in law attacked the other over Project 2025. Me, I would have put her in the ICU if it wasn't for my son. Oh my God, really? I mean, that's when you got to sit him down and be like, look, we're family. What in the fuck, you know? How are you wrapped up in this? It's, you know, you would actually want to hurt someone in your other family about something you heard on television or something you heard from a politician or, you know, or some newscaster. Where is it, by the way? If it's so important, where is this Project 2025? Why aren't they marching it down the street? Huh? I mean, we got the, you know, the mandate to do whatever, right? Why aren't they doing that? Right? It's not there. Well, maybe they're sneaking it into stuff. What does that mean? Then it's not really that's not really Project 2025, is it? Oh, you know, you just need it to be real. And it's not. They lied to you. You were abused, and that's okay. That's what they intended to do. They intended to use this information to scare you, right? And now you're scared because you believe them. And that's how they abused you. That's how they've abused your trust, right? They abused their ability to enact fear in you, right? And that comes from your trust of them, right? And they set you off to hurt other people with it. That right there should tell you that they do not deserve your trust or your loyalty ever again, ever in any way, shape, or form, ever. Right? Oh man. See, well, it was a mess because I didn't raise my son like that. So you said, hold on. Daughter-in-law attacked the other. Okay. Oh, so like, well, yeah, but your son couldn't control the daughter-in-law, right? You know, I'm sure in some way you probably tried to, but you know, a lot of times you get involved with somebody, you don't know where they stand politically. I mean, I guess these days people are really into it, but in the past, that's not really how we did things. We didn't go into like trying to. So, but before we get started, tell me who did you vote for last time and why? And why should I stick around if it's not the same person I did? There you go. That's the first date question these days, right? Oh, I don't think I'm following you the whole way, but let's see. One of my daughter-in-laws attacked the other daughter-in-law over so your son with the daughter-in-law who did the attacking hasn't talked to you since over that. Yeah. You should send him a message every day. Like, where's the Project 2025? Where's the Project 2025? It was worth attacking your family over. Where's it at every day? Like, where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Still not here. Still not talked about. It's nothing to do with us ever. It was a lie. You know, why trust people that cause you to attack your family? Why would you trust anybody who turned you against your family? Like, why would you think that they have your best interest in mind? I had to beg my other son, husband, to the one assaulted not to beat his brother's ass. Well, their wives got into it. It's a little bit of different thing, right? Oh man, that sucks. I know, and that sucks. That's why we fight, Darth Kitty. That's why we fight. We fight for a better future. You know, we accept that we accept that we can't help we accept that we can't help everybody, but we that's why we fight, to make a better future where this kind of stuff doesn't happen, right? Where families aren't broken apart by stupid people on television and false narratives that trap their minds, right? That's why we fight. And that's what a lot of people here, we've all been through it. We all understand it. And you're around people who get you. You know, that's what we do here. And together we are winning reality. Not just one person. It's all of us. It takes all of us to win reality together. It really does. What does this here? What did this say here? We got some people coming in. Who's that? Captain Kearns. Ah, cool. Hey, Captain Kearns, how you doing? I had to highlight it for some reason. It was very, very hard to see in my control panel here. But hey, welcome everybody. How you doing? I hope you're enjoying a great stream over there with Captain Kearns. We're doing some 3D printing today, Captain. There we go. Captain Kearns makes. Oh, there you go. You added some stuff to your name. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. What were you making today? What were you making today? We got some time here. On the flip side, so good to see everybody. Thank you guys for checking out my channel. Hope you will enjoy it. Tonight is our audiobook reading night, and we are on our 6th book. Tonight, our book is, we're almost through it. We've got how many chapters do we got left? Let me take a look at the bright light over here. Tonight we're doing 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We got about, looks like about 3 more shows left on concluding tonight on this book. And then we go to a new book. This is our 6th book. It's called The War on Warriors by Pete Hegseth, our defense secretary. And it's been an awesome book. He doesn't hold back any punches at all. And he is based as the other side of the pillow, man. He is very based, and he sees the root cause issues, and it's really good and reassuring to know that we have somebody in there who's actually going to address root cause issues and try to restore the dignity and respect to our armed forces that is and lethality and that is sorely missing right now. So it's a good time for people who are interested in being in the military to explore those opportunities. So much can happen when you are part of it. And not only that, with our technological advancements, the chances are become less and less and less that we're going to be, that damage and unfortunate things can happen to people that go into the military. They can still happen, but we're getting so much better at protecting our soldiers and caring for them. And also, with the advancements in technology, hey, you might get yourself a nice little exosuit. You could be like, you could be like, what was that movie when they had the exosuits? Was it Starship Troopers? They had some good stuff, right? You got you got the drone warfare, you got all kinds of things that are happening now. That new jet looks pretty damn awesome. The F-47. That thing looks cool. We did that last week. Oh man, I wanted to go over the Houthi stuff too. I didn't get a chance to do that tonight. We got talking. That's a good thing though. That's a good thing when we do that. I did want to show this thing though. Maybe we'll do it anyways. We got some time. We got people watching. We got people hanging out. I appreciate all you guys who came in and check it out. Let's see what you made. An Ecto 1 license plate. Cool. And unboxing swag from Sony. Nice. Very cool. Man, that's that wolf. Listen to that wolf. He knows what he's talking about. 47 for the 47th president. Yeah. And I tell you what, a lot of those drone sightings or whatever, where they saw all kinds of weird things. This jet actually flies with a drone accompaniments, like a little drone squad and squadron to go with your jet, right? So I'm sure that's what a lot of people thought they were seeing and other things. Don't tell Greer that though. Don't call it hit. Oh no. No. These are clearly they're clearly made to look like aliens. Well, maybe. I don't know. We don't know what alien tech looks like. I won't go down that rabbit hole though. But let me just say this. Thank you guys so much for being here. And I appreciate everybody who came by and checked out the channel. All right. So let's just get this. Let's just get this before this gets too old. Let me just get it out and get it done. And then we're gonna look at the other stuff afterwards. Like I promised, the bonus content time tonight after the reading, short chapter tonight, is going to be well worth it. I hope you guys, even if you don't read with me, will come back at about 9:45, 10ish to check out the bonus content time. Three nations, similar collapses going on at the same time outside the U.S. Compare and contrast, and then look at what that means for the future and exactly how the MAGA movement is set to counter that. And well, we need to help other people get the same thing going on in their countries in order to preserve our allies' liberty and freedom. Okay, so where is this? Oh, this is that. Let me get back over here. I was like, why can't I find it? Okay. Cool. This could be a really cool way to end the kickoff show. I'm going to go a little bit over, but I was off all last week, so I'm full of energy, and I got lots of stuff for you guys. I've been collecting. Greer always cheers me up. Greer cheer, right? How crazy! And oh no, zebra alerts going off. Y'all have to have a blessed night. I'm going to late night prayer. God bless you and enjoy your prayer. And thank you for being here. You see how we got the zebra alerts going on over here, Arlene? Arlene, good to see you. Good to see you. All right, let me pull this up for you guys and go to our new view. Oh, what? Look, I'm over here now. What? All right, it's almost the same, right? There we go.
At 5:23 p.m. local time, a U.S. Air Force F-16 from the 421st Fighter Squadron was providing top cover for a U.S. naval task force as it steamed along the coast of Yemen. While the patrol had been relatively quiet so far, this would all change in a matter of seconds. Unknown to the F-16 pilot, a Houthi SA battery near Hodeidah had the aircraft in its sights and let loose a missile. With a 23-kilometer maximum effective range and a top speed of 2.8 times the speed of sound, the pilot has just seconds to react. Thankfully, the F-16 comes equipped with a variety of electronic countermeasures that turn this deadly missile into a harmless pea shooter. Located on the aircraft's nose is its AN/APG-83 radar, which serves as its first line of defense against the Houthi missile attack. After detecting the SA-6 at a range of 42 kilometers, the pilot began a steep dive to take the aircraft from 30,000 feet to 15,000 feet. This maneuver is necessary because the SA-6 can track its target. The SA-6 is what's known as a semi-active missile. This means that Houthi ground radars must illuminate the target with enough energy to create a fire control situation. Once airborne, the SA-6 receives this fire control data as it screams towards the target. Once it gets close, its internal seeker on its warhead activates to ping for the F-16 in its final few seconds of flight. By performing this steep dive, the pilot hoped to break the fire control solution of the incoming SA-6, but it wasn't enough. With the radar's ability to scan for fighter-sized targets with a 5-meter squared radar cross-section up to 470 kilometers, the radar was able to spot more incoming SA-6 missiles. The pilot continued evasive maneuvers with just 18 seconds to react to this barrage. However, these erratic turns wreaked havoc on the radar's ability to track targets. Although the system can track up to 20 targets at once, the radar's effectiveness in seeing targets at 60 degrees off bore sight decreases to just 47%. With all the erratic turns the pilot is making, the F-16 is effectively blind to some of the incoming missiles.
So yeah, so they're having a hard time over there. I'm not going to let that one play all the way out, but that they're being effective over there. Let's put it that way. I just want to play some of that. There's a lot more in that. I thought I had another one, that had actually like more about like what we're doing, like what we've done so far and why we're doing it. I gotta find that because I thought I had it in this list and I thought that was it, but it wasn't. So I'll keep looking for it. I do want to go into like what's going on conflict wise around the world and what we're involved in, and save those kind of updates and news for this show because we got room for it. Talking about Greer now. Disclosure is coming. Shelly and I started watching a show called the Three Body Problem. It's one of those things you wouldn't like think to watch, but it's out there. It's like a Netflix series. And it's interesting because it's about aliens that are really coming to the planet, like but they're like 400 years away. And I was like, man, why didn't Greer just go with that? Like they literally unveiled themselves and they're like, we're telling everybody not to panic. They really are, they're 400 years away, right? They unveiled themselves by putting this giant projection in the sky. It's so funny because a lot of the ideas they get from these shows comes from people that are out there on the internet making shit up and taking things too far, right? But I was like, man, Greer really missed the mark on this one. He should have told us that they're on their way, but it's going to take them a long time to get here. They have a giant fleet. So if he does change his narrative, you know where he got it from, right? You know where he got it from. If he does change it, modify it, upgrade it, optimize it. That's what he always does, right? It's always a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, until you get to that point where, you know, he has to make up something new because the shit that he said was going to happen didn't. And now we're talking about Greer again. All right. Just like that. That's how easy it happens. Full code zebra alert. Yes, it does happen just like that. Yeah, Greer doesn't have any findings though. He makes it all up. Like myself, I've done a lot of research into it and debunked his entire story word by word, line by line, really. There's also other people here. Yeah, bring some souvenirs. Like Arlene that was just here, she mods over for Steve Cambion on Truth Seekers. He's been doing this for a long time. He's been doing it for years. And actually, he's so good at it, he's gotten heat from like people like Wilcox and others, like literally called out by name. Wilcox has this whole narrative about him that he's making shit up about him. It's incredible to have gone that far into the degrifting of people, like insane people like David Wilcox, right? Guy who unleashed original Q on everybody. The guy just like whines and makes shit up. Like, you know, Steven's been doing this he did it for a long time. And then he's got his thing going on, man. He's been doing it for a long time. And he's gotten so good at calling out the grift that they actually recognize him from calling out the grift. So that's good on you, Steven, man. Good on you, Steven. And, but yeah. Anyways, I've gone way over on the kickoff show. So let's go do some reading, guys. And like I said, if you want to come back for the bonus content, get me right at about 10 o'clock. We should be ready for you. But I hope you'll come over and listen to some of the book. I think you'll enjoy it if you do. Guys, get ready to hit that like. Hit the like on the way out the door if you haven't hit it already. Hit the like when you get in the door on Rumble. The link is pinned in the chat and in the description. It is time to end the kickoff show and go do some reading. Guys, thank you so much for being here this evening. Every Monday night is our audiobook listening club known as Unrig the Game. It's a great show. It's more than just a book. It's more than just a book. But I hope to see you guys again next week if this is your show that you come to. If not, I have other shows during the week. Just make sure you subscribe, ring the bell, and so you get notifications. Look out for my community posts that come out probably like an hour or two before the show. And you can always be part of the Discord to get notifications as well. If you're not finding it, they come to you well. Just ask and we will accommodate you and make sure that you have the accurate and timely notifications of when the show goes live. All right, guys, I hope to see you then. That's all I got for now. Kickoff show over. And we will see you next time. And until that time, and that is YouTube. I'll see you next time, YouTube. And until then, later.
Man, everyone's tensed up for a rumble.